Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. On November 9, in Dehradun Selekwe Market, 24-year-old MBA student Angel Chakma from Tripura stepped out for groceries and never returned. A son, a brother, a student with dreams, Angel's life was cut short after he stood up against what is regarded as casual cruelty these days. This attack is not just a simple case of violence, it's a social bias deeply ingrained and acted upon with impunity, with no fear of the law. It began as taunts as Chinese and Momo and escalated into violence with 6 criminals beating Chakma so badly that he eventually succumbed to his injuries. Angel's last words reportedly were, "We are not Chinese, we are Indians," but it fell on deaf ears. While Angel Chakma's family is demanding justice, political leaders have weighed in, intensifying the debate. Rahul Gandhi has condemned the horrific hate attack, calling it a failure of governance and demanding immediate action. He adds that hate doesn't appear overnight, and for years it has been fed daily, especially to our youth, and that these attacks are being normalized by what he claims are hate-spewing leadership of the ruling BJP. Now, the question definitely persists. How could something like this happen in 21st century India? How long do members of the Northeastern community have to face this othering on a daily basis? This incident exposes a harsh reality, deep-rooted, persistent and often ignored, ingrained racism. But is it fair for any one political section to say that this is only happening now? Is the argument that such attacks never took place pre-2014 in India? We'll take that up and more with our guest joining us, but I want to tell you more about this incident. Angel Chakma, 24-year-old MBA student from Tripura. He died following a brutal, racially motivated attack in Dehradun. The attack occurred on December 9 while Angel and his younger brother, Michael, were out for groceries. A group of approximately 6 harassed the brothers with racial slurs to begin with, and when Angel stood his ground, stating that we are not Chinese, we are Indians, what certificate should we show to prove that, the group resorted to extreme violence, attacking Angel with knives and brass knuckles. He sustained critical injuries, including a broken neck, severed spine and brain trauma. After fighting for his life for over 14 days on a ventilator, he succumbed to his injuries on December 26. Now, Uttarakhand police have arrested at least 5 of these individuals that were connected to this attack, but the 6th one is absconding. Reports indicate the main accused could have fled to Nepal. But Angel Chakma's incident is not an isolated one. Just in the last few days, several hate attacks have come to light from across the country. For example, 4 17-year-olds attacked a young man with sickles and machetes on the Chennai-Tirupati local train. Allegedly under the influence of ganja, they dragged the man near Tirupati railway quarters and filmed the brutal assault. The victim sustained nearly 20 stab wounds and remains in critical condition. All 4 minors have now been detained. This is happening in Tamil Nadu. Jahangir Ahmed, a Kashmir shawl seller in Himachal Pradesh for 15 years, was brutally attacked in Dehra town. The assailants threatened eviction, vandalized his belongings, and he also sustained multiple fractures and severe internal injuries. This is the 16th such attack on Kashmiri traders in outside of Jammu and Kashmir this year. Another case which we shouldn't forget is that of this 19-year-old boy Arnav Jitendra Khare, who was studying in Kalyan East. He was allegedly assaulted by 4 to 5 men on a local train in Mumbai for speaking Hindi instead of Marathi. He was so traumatized, he skipped exams and was later found dead by suicide. Railway police are reviewing CCTV footages to identify the killers, and this isn't the first such case that has come in on language chauvinism from Maharashtra either. Let's also not forget a 31-year-old Dalit migrant from Chhattisgarh was lynched in Palakkad in Kerala just a day after arriving for work, branded a Bangladeshi infiltrator because of his language. He was beaten to death, sustaining over 80 injuries. 5 suspects have been arrested, facing murder and SC/ST Act charges. Now, the opposition, of course, especially the Congress, have blamed BJP and their policies for hate attacks in the country. But is it right to do so? Have these hate attacks against Northeastern especially risen only or happened only after BJP came to power in the center. I want to bring you some instances from the past. Now, August 2012, a 22-year-old Tibetan college student, Tenzing Dhargirel, was stabbed in Mysore by two persons riding a motorcycle near a hotel who suspected him to be from northeastern region, just for that reason. Then there is the incidents from May 2013 in Munirka in Delhi, where three youth from Manipur sustained injuries after they were brutally beaten up by their neighbor and his son over some spitting dispute in Delhi's Munirka. Also from January 2014, Nido Tanyam, a 20-year-old student from Arunachal Pradesh and also son of former Congress MLA from the state, he was beaten to death with iron rods by shopkeepers in Lajpat Nagar who mocked his hairstyle and hurled racial slurs. The case sparked a CBI investigation and a nationwide debate on discrimination meted out to northeastern Indians. Also from the same month in January 2014 in Kotla Mubarakpur in Delhi, once again two Manipuri women, Dharmila Jajo and Chomila, were allegedly beaten up by a group of men who also hurled racist abuses against them in South Delhi's area. So the question that we ask today is simply this: exactly who is guilty of these hate attacks? Is that hate because of a certain particular political party's rise, or is this been ingrained and needs to be met as a united front? That's coming up.
तो तीन आदमी बैठ के तीनों मतलब 6 आदमी आपस में बात करके सीधा छोटा लड़का आवाज आया, उसको चीनी मोमो क्या क्या मतलब अलग अलग बात करा में तो छोटा लड़का थे। फिर
वो लोग हम लोग को तरफ मेरे को थोड़ा पोक कर रहा था, ये चिंकी उनकी मेरे को थोड़ा सा रेसिज्म कर रहा था, तो मैं थोड़ा अपने तरफ से अपने सेल्फ डिफेंस मतलब थोड़ा बोल रहा था कि भैया क्या हो गया करके उधर पे।
इस पर हमने बहुत सख्त कार्रवाई के लिए कहा है यहाँ पर, है ना, और पांच लोग जो भी इसमें थे बदमाश, 5 गिरफ्तार कर लिए गए हैं, जो भी इस घटना में जिन्होंने भी अपराध में किया है।
दिस इज नॉट merely a law and order situation or merely an incident. This is related to mentality and lack of awareness.
RP Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP, Pooja Tripathi, spokesperson of the Congress party, and Lysipriya Kanjujam, climate activist who hails from Manipur Northeast as well, is joining us. Hasina Karbi is a human rights activist who will be with us in just a bit. But I want to go across to Lysipriya first up, and I just want to simply begin by asking you about your response when you first heard about Angel's beating and his subsequent death. What came to your mind?
For what happened to Angel Chakma? First of all, I would like to ask a few questions to this nation. Who gave them the right to kill us? Who gave you the right to kill us? Just because we look like Chinese? And why is the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Mr. Pushkar Dhami, still silent on this issue? And you see, the main thing is, how long do we, the northeastern people of India, have to keep on tolerating this issue, this kind of stereotype? We are attacked not for what we do, but for how we look. And this is unacceptable. This is not just about Uttarakhand. This is happening all across the country, हमारे भारत में. And there has been such numerous cases of racial attacks on northeastern people like me. And I ask today, where is their justice? Where is their share of justice? Where is our justice? Just how many FIRs, how many hospital beds, how many deaths before accountability finally begins? Why do these cases disappear once the headlines fade? Why do these cases disappear once the headline fades? Let me be very clear. We, the people of Northeast India, we are united and we will continue to raise our voice regarding this issue. We have tolerated this for so long. We must speak up. We need our share of justice now. This is unacceptable. This must stop now. Being Northeastern doesn't make us the outsiders in our own country, in our own homeland, Bharat mein. You see, racism ये culture नहीं है. Violence, ignorance नहीं है. This is crime. The fact is, this is literal crime which is happening right now. Stop asking us to adjust. Start asking the system why they keep on failing us. Why are we losing these innocent victims' life just like this? Aren't we the citizen of India? Do you regard our lives, the Northeastern lives, just because we look different, just because we look like Chinese, as puppets that can just be tossed away just like that? Where is our justice?
You're absolutely right. It's not just a matter of justice, but also of a long-standing issue that needs to be tackled as far as, you know, this violence against Northeasterns is concerned. RP Singh, let me bring you in. There are, of course, grave question marks that are emerging as far as this killing is concerned in Uttarakhand. And there is also a suggestion from your political rivals that, you know, this is happening particularly in BJP-ruled states. If you look at hate attacks over identity, and it has grown since the BJP's narrative has become the dominant narrative in this country.
See, I don't want to, Shivani, I don't want to get into this slugfest of BJP versus Congress. This is a social issue. I have a long list with me. You've also shown that long list on your TV channel itself, that how incidents happen in Munirka, in Lajpat Nagar, in various other states during UPA regime, and also even in the UPA or the India Alliance ruled states also. Himachal, the recent incident of the Kashmir shawl the incident which happened to the Kashmiri guy. So issue is not that. Issue is a bigger issue, and it need to be addressed. And my all my concern with this lady Kangujamma, sorry,
Yes.
I'm not able to take the name.
Lysipriya Kangujam.
So Supriya Cha Kangujam, sorry ma'am. And so all my sympathies with the Northeast people, and you are very much part of the country. And let me share with you, since I was the DUSU General Secretary in 1982-83, we had a program of students' experience in interstate living, where all the students from Northeast were brought to Delhi, and we took them around and we made them stay with their families in Delhi that time. And this program is still on under the Vidyarthi Parishad programs, one of the programs of Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, where students from Northeast are brought, and then they stay with family members of the Vidyarthi Parishad parents here, and then they mix up and they understand this part of the country. People understand what do the Northeast students demands are, or what do they think about the country. I mean, all that happens. It's a cultural exchange program. So it's an interstate interstate cultural exchange program, student exchange program. But that point aside, issue is that if this instance has happened, let's talk about this instance. I've been told 5 people have been arrested. One was a Nepali citizen who is absconding. The Uttarakhand government is already talking to the Nepal government. They have already issued a notice on that, and they have declared a prize money on the person also, something like 25,000 rupees. So it's a matter of time.
No, but wasn't the Uttarakhand government a little bit late to react? I mean, Mr. Dhami's reaction has only come today. This incident happened on December 9. Just because the victim in this case died, and only now, Pushkar Singh Dhami is speaking to the family. Did they not deserve some comfort some dignity before the death of their son?
Please understand, were the people were arrested or not? Let's understand that. Yes, people were arrested, immediately arrested. It's not that they have been arrested today after the death. They were arrested. But coming to the issue of speaking to the family, obviously the government was trying their best to ensure that whatever best can be done to save the person, that was being taken care. And then also the Chief Minister of the state has also spoken to the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. So that's why the Uttarakhand CM spoke to the family also. But again, speaking or speaking late or speaking when do a person speak, that's a separate issue. I want to bring you to a bigger issue. Why do such instances happen? That's the bigger concern. And the state governments of the northeast also, and the central government, and the other state governments where this northeast students stay, or rather in each and every state now they stay, they do come and do business, they come and do jobs. So more social media has to be used to make people aware that they are very much part of the country. And
no, I don't even understand why this needs awareness. Awareness of what? I mean, Northeast India is part of India. Why does this even need awareness? I mean, what is wrong with our minds?
Not now. From the days of Krishna, Lord Krishna. I mean, they have been part of India since the days of Krishna.
No, so who are these people? And what it speaks to, Pooja Tripathi, is that people are not afraid of the law. That is why they are willing to go to the extent of brutally killing and injuring someone just because, you know, they passed certain taunts and that person responded. It just goes on to show that people have zero fear of the law. And even in this case, what is even more, curious or disappointing is that the identity of the accused themselves is of diverse Indian background.
Shivani, my fellow co-panelist from Northeast here, the questions if she raised, and the question that Angel Chakma's last was what certificate should I show you to prove that I'm an Indian? I think this should, shake up the moral compass of every Indian. It was not a personal cry for help. It was an indictment of a collective failure as a nation. When you unleash violence for somebody looking like Chinese, calling him Chikna, calling him momos, and is it new? No. And, the whole audacity to attack someone, the whole audacity to kill someone. Just now, RP Singh was saying, let's not make it political. I never wanted to make it political, but look at how it has been 20 days since the incident, and Mr. Kiran Rijiju, who represents the Inclusive India, spoke out today only a few hours before on CNN News 18. I've heard it's an exclusive interview. And there he brushed off saying it's not a Northeast identity. I'm really sorry to say. We not only need a national framework against racial discrimination, we also want leadership. We want a Jyotiraditya Scindia who represents the communication and development of the Northeast states to speak up, to rise up and speak against it. We want a Kiran Rijiju to call it a racial discrimination, not brush it off saying that North mein bhi hota hai, idhar mein bhi hota hai. But somebody being called a Momo or somebody called Chinese or somebody being called a Chikna, and whose father is a serving soldier in BSF.
Yes.
Few seconds back, I was hearing that, 12 days, it took police 12 days to file an FIR. You read his autopsy report, you read his report of his injuries, grave injuries, and police was brushing it off as a minor incident. And Pushkar Singh Dhami had to talk to a father who is, who is grieving the death of his only son, death of his younger son, over speaker call. I mean, where do we draw the line on sensitivity? Where do we draw the line on, is this the way we are trying to give messages to the Northeastern people? Is this the way that we are trying to tell them that what happened is wrong? And what's happening in Uttarakhand, what's happening in every part of India is wrong. And that's why we are saying, there needs to be stricter measures. There needs to be political that rises to the occasion.
But Pooja, was it fair for Rahul Gandhi to come out today and also politicize this killing, in as many words? I mean, he has laid the blame on quote-unquote hate politics of the BJP. I have listed out instances where, particularly if we talk about these racial or identity attacks against Northeastern boys and girls, this has been going on for a very long time. You can't wash your hands off saying this is only happening post-2014 because there is a rise in hate that is being fed to the youth. I think that is also being economical with the truth and running a political agenda on the back of a very tragic incident.
Shivani, what's happening after 2014? We have to take that into account. You know, Christmas decorations, something as peaceful as loving as Christmas decorations are in malls are being stripped down. Christians are being attacked at their prayers, in front of their prayer sites. We are doing an Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, and Jai Shri Ram before churches. There's 78%, that's not me. The Base Boria committee report said that 86% Northeast people face racial discrimination and two-thirds of being women, having gender-based violence. The Northeast support and helpline receives 30 to 40 calls per day, 1,825 record calls in 2025, having a distress call for help. The rights and risk, and who forgets the rights and risk analysis group? We saw the pandemic, we were facing pandemic, but what Northeastern saw, they saw forced eviction from their tenants, they saw spitting on them, they saw being called coronavirus. So this whole
No, all of
hate
this is
culture-
fine, but you can't possibly suggest that none of it happened before 2014. I'll run that list that it used to happen before 2014 as well. Can I just also say, you did point out about Christmas decorations being vandalized, and yes, you should. But why is it that the Congress doesn't raise, for example, the fact that Hindu processions come under stone pelting? And they have been happening since independence. You don't talk about that religious crime and vandalism of someone's faith and celebration. You only point out Christmas decorations being
That's very
vandalized.
wrong. That's very wrong. We point out every.
No, you
step.
don't. I'm sorry. I
Yes,
don't think anybody can pretend that the Congress
But
cries
they do.
as much hoarse when there is stone pelting that
if you
happens
have
even in
been-
Congress-ruled
Please,
states
sir.
on Durga Yatra, on Kali Yatra, on Ram Navami processions. In fact, then there are excuses made that these processions are provocative, they go through quote-unquote Muslim areas, and therefore somehow this should be avoided, and only that is why this violence is meted out to them. But I don't want to derail the debate that we're having. Hasina Kharbi is also joining us. Hasina, what is the solution to this?
Can I make a point, please?
Yes, I'm missing 30 seconds before I go to Hasina.
I'll request the Congress spokesperson, don't make it a tutu ma'am issue. There's a long list. What happened in Rajasthan, what happened in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh during your regime. There's a long list. So I don't get into that. Let's try to find out what's the way ahead and what's the solution to the issue. There's a bigger thing. And then also, did your chief minister, I never interrupted, ma'am, I never interrupted you. Have some manners, please. And then did your
quoting plain
please.
government stats, NLU stats, risk advisory stats. I was plain quoting a spike in stats in your regime, and that's what I'm saying.
Good.
Why is there an upward trend? Why has
That's
not
what Congress
finished?
do. Well,
Why
that's
does
what
it
Congress
take
do.
50 days? Why
They
does it
do
take
only
50
mudslinging.
days? Grieving father
What
of
is
a
your answer
speaker.
to the person who has been killed in Himachal today? Sorry, day before
Okay,
yesterday.
Hasina ji,
What's
just
your
give me
answer
a
to
minute.
that?
Let me just see.
Like,
Let me just get a response on
Sean
this.
son has been killed in Himachal. Did your chief minister spoke to the person's family? No. So don't get, again I repeat.
Okay,
let's
Pooja,
not get
30
into
seconds.
mudslinging. Let's not get
Respond
into
to the
two-man
fact
subject.
that there
This is a
has
very
been
serious subject. We need to
identity-
address seriously.
No, one second. Pooja, respond to the fact that there have been identity-based attacks in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu acts as if it is a completely different and a complete utopia, not part of the rest of India under DMK. There's been an attack in Himachal against a Kashmiri shawl seller. All of this is only happening because of BJP. The local law and order has no responsibility.
Congress has spoken on the Chhattisgarhi migrant who was killed because he was perceived to be a Bangladeshi, and who has sown this Bangladeshi hatred in the country. That's what we are saying. The whole hate culture. The chief minister has condemned it. We are saying, I am saying there has been instances in the past of the identity, people being attacked for identity. But why is there an upward increase, and why political leadership, other than making grieving fathers talk on speaker
Okay.
phones?
As
and
far as the
crushing
crime data is concerned, I tried to look into whether there is an increase in quote-unquote hate attacks. As far as the crime board in India is concerned, the the NCRB, they don't maintain any separate column of hate attacks. It is not categorized under any sections of the IPC or the BNS. So we cannot quote any data. It is perceived by Congress ecosystem that these attacks are on the rise. The calls that you mentioned to the helpline could also be attributed to the fact that there is more agency available, more awareness about who you can call today, and therefore calls are rising. Population has also increased. So I'm just saying scientific data and non-scientific and perceived data is a separate issue. But I want to go across to Hasina ji here. Hasina ji, the larger point is attacks on northeastern Indians despite best efforts that all governments may have tried to make, all citizen awareness groups may have tried to make, they somehow keep happening. They have a certain element of brutality attached to them. It just also goes on to show that the youngsters today, the accused also tend to be very young. In many of these cases, there seems to be a lack of fear of law. And we still need to do more on this regard. Hasina ji, what is the solution here?
I think before we get into this particular case, we also have to go back that over the years, we have had a lot of racial discrimination on the Northeastern, whether it was for men or women or children who have faced brutal abuses, not just, one time, but it's been a continuous process. That is a reality. And I think the Northeast Support Helpline in New Delhi was set up to actually address this particular issue, to support this kind of attack that continue to happen over and over again. But what I would really like to raise here is that it's a crime. So we have to treat racial discrimination as a crime. We have laws in our country that is protection of such crimes that need to be taken more seriously to avoid this kind of mishap that is happening over and over again. For me, I would say that as a person who has worked on human rights over the years, we have seen this happening. Not just in the roadside, it happened in institution and workspaces, in different levels. So we cannot keep going on targeting one incident. It is time for our country to take this seriously, to make it a notification under the law that any kind of discrimination, such as discrimination on Northeastern people, it has to be taken seriously, and immediate response by law enforcement has to be there.
Okay.
So if a notification comes from the Prime Minister's office to say that such crime will not be taken lightly, and anything, there will be a toll-free, that is an immediate toll-free that will need to be, responsive enough that legal action is being taken, and enforcement will have to act on it by not delaying at any level. I think that's an important part that we need to look into it. Let's look at it from a law point of view.
Yes.
Let's look at it from a human
And
rights point of view.
maybe we can add that any identity-based violence against any other Indian should have specific, very serious consequences.
It has to. It has to, and it's just about time that we have a centralized toll-free in the country that responds immediately, and enforcement are trained enough, or they're being notified enough in every state and every districts of the country that such things will not be allowed. And if they don't act upon it, dire consequence will be taken, on the person who is in charge, will be the way forward.
Can add a separate section on it. Any Indian on Indian violence on identity. Frankly, I don't think it's justified, even if, for example, you believe that somebody is Chinese in India. But any Indian on Indian violence on identity, on race, on religion should indeed be met with a very separate law, and an example should be made. Lysipriya, I want to give you the final word once again. I just want to understand from you, has this, as far as attacks on identity to Northeastern people, become better at all? Has there been, in your experience, for example, more friendliness that you come face? Or is it the same as it has always been?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If this kind of condition, this kind of issue would have been better, why would there have been the death of Angel Chakma? Even few years back, as an activist, as a person, as a Northeastern person, me, Lysipriya, I faced it as well several times daily by many people saying, "Tu Nepali hai kya? Tu Chinese hai kya? Ching chong chinky." And also, let me tell you one thing: a party in India, I protested in front of the Taj Mahal in 2022, in July 2022, with a signboard saying, "Behind the beauty of Taj Mahal is plastic pollution." And then what happened was, a party called me a foreigner. call me a foreigner even though I'm a citizen. मैं एक citizen हूँ भारत की. So this is the basic, this is the racism, this is a discrimination we the people are facing, and even in much more worse conditions. I just want to say this: India cannot call itself united until parts of its people still live in fear. I'll repeat: India cannot call itself united while parts of its people still live in fear. Enough is enough. Calling us Chinky, calling us Chinese, calling us Nepali is not a joke. This is racism. Who gave anyone the right to decide our nationality by our faces? We are abused, we are mocked, we are attacked simply because we look different. How is this fair?
Okay.
How is this fair? How can Indians be called foreigners in their own country?
Yes.
This mindset is violent and it kills, and we have already seen the outcomes of what has happened. Stop teaching children that this is acceptable to insult Northeastern faces. We are not outsiders. We are not migrants. We are Indians.
Yeah.
Racism against the Northeast has been normalized for too long, and this is unacceptable at any cost.
Yes. In fact, you use the right word, migrant. In fact, all kinds of migrants in other states come under attacks, and I don't seem to understand why. Whether it's on language basis, whether it's on facial features, or it is on practices, religion, all of it needs to stop. And maybe, hopefully, this incident would be a reminder for us that we are all Indians at the end of the day. I leave it at that. I do thank our guests for joining us.